Croatia versus Brazil in the quarterfinal of the 2022 World Cup is an event you don't want to miss. This game will be played on December 9th at the Education City Stadium, where the winner will go on to face Netherlands or Argentina. Let's talk a bit about results so far en route to the quarterfinals. And let's start with Croatia. For Croatia, they came in second in Group F behind fellow quarterfinalists Morocco, but pipped Belgium and Canada to that second round of 16 spot. Then in the round of 16 against Japan, the game ended 1-1 after extra time, but Croatia prevailed on penalties, courtesy of some big saves by goalkeeper Dominic Rich. For Brazil, they topped Group H ahead of Switzerland, Cameroon, and Serbia, then went on to dismiss South Korea 4-1 in the round of 16. Let's talk about the players who could make a difference for both Brazil and Croatia. These players I call the X Factors. When you think Croatia, of course you think Luka Modric. He's their captain. He's 1/3 of their midfield engine. Listen, I call him the stamina daddy. The man's full of energy, more energy than a 21-year-old actually. And the intelligence that he possesses in this midfield, just controlling things, helping out in defense, going forward, he's all over the field. He's given the license to roam, the license to ill, the license to kill. Listen, Luka Modric embodies the Croatian spirit. The next player on the list is Joško Gvardiol, and he's the breakout star, the defensive stalwart, and he's been mature beyond his years. He started off at Dinamo Zagreb, then moved to Leipzig, then you hearing him being linked to all these big clubs around Europe, and you don't have to wonder why anymore, because he's definitely shown us what he's capable of doing and how good he is at the back for Croatia. Expect him to see him at many more World Cups to come. One of their future greats, in my opinion. And the third of the trio of X Factors, of course, I had to put in Perisic, my favorite Croatian player. He's talismanic, he's explosive, and he could be that difference maker for Croatia. Look at when the going got tough against Japan. He was the one who leapt ahead of the Japan defenders to head in to equalize. That took the game to extra time and Croatia prevailed. So if the going gets tough against Brazil, Ivan Perisic could definitely put his hands up and make it count. Let's get into Brazil, where the entire team is full of X Factors. But we could only pick three. When you think X Factor, you think Neymar Jr. He's a living legend. He makes things happen. And the style and swagger that he has on the field is just something to admire. Neymar is Brazil. And if Brazil are to go on to win this World Cup, they would need Neymar at his best. Look, we saw in 2014 when Neymar got injured, what happened to Brazil. In 2018, of course, the Belgians, they did their thing and they got the better of Brazil. This time around, Neymar picked up an injury. Things didn't look too good for Brazil when he was out, but since he's came back 4-1 against South Korea, Neymar, quintessential X Factor if you ask me. The goalkeeper, Alisson, he is the Great Wall of Brazil. Get it? Shot stopping ability, amazing. He does it for Liverpool, he does it for the Brazil team, and I think this guy is a cheat code. He is a cheat code. He has to be a cheat code because some of the saves that he pull off are simply ridiculous. Croatia are faced with the task of beating this man, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be a difficult one. And for the last X Factor, I chose to go with Casemiro. He does the dirty work in the midfield. You could call him the head janitor if you want. He protects the defense. He's a goal threat on his day as well, and he is one of their leaders. If you go back to the Brazil matches when he doesn't feature, they don't do too well. So he's a big man in their team, and I'm pretty sure he's one of the first names on the team list for Tiche. Let's talk about how each team could line up in this massive quarterfinal clash. For Croatia, Zlatko Dalic does play a 4-3-3 formation. I don't expect the backline to change too much, but we could see Borna Sosa coming back for Borna Barisic, or we could see Josip Stanisic coming in for Josip Juranovic, who might be a bit fatigued after playing all the games so far for Croatia at the World Cup. But expect to see Gvardiol and Lovren as a center-back pairing once again. And if things doesn't go Croatia's way, or let's say things go their way, they're 3-0 up, we might actually see Domagoj Vida come on for a run out. It's left to be seen. Let's move into the midfield where I don't expect anything to change at all. Kovacic and Modric, they were taken off before the end of that game against Japan so that they could rest up for potential quarterfinal game. And Croatia, they have that quarterfinal game, so these guys will come back fresh and ready. Don't worry yourself about Brozovic. He is a running machine. And we move up into the forward positions where Ivan Perisic, Bruno Petkovic, and Andrej Kramaric started the last game. Guys, expect a change or two, but maybe one, where Petkovic could drop out, Marko Livaja could come in, or we could see Andrej Kramaric going into the middle and a guy like Nikola Vlasic starting. Or this could be the game where Zlatko Dalic unleashes a player like Mislav Orsic, who we haven't seen enough of at the World Cup, in my opinion. So Croatia, I think they'll make 1 to 3 changes in this game. Let's talk about Brazil. Tite does play a 4-2-3-1 formation. Expect Alisson to be in goal. The backline shouldn't change a lot because they're dealing with quite a few injuries. But if we are to see a change, maybe Alexandro might be fit again, or maybe Gleison Bremer might come in. But I don't see this changing much at all. We move into the midfield. Lucas Paqueta, he scored. He's been very influential. He will hold his place alongside Casemiro, while above them, we should see Neymar, Vinicius, and Rafinha. But I have a question mark over Rafinha, where if Tite chose to go with Rodrigo or even Anthony, it won't really take anything away from this Brazilian team. And expect to see Richarlison up top. Oh, I also forget to mention, we could also see Gabriel Martinelli as well instead of Rafinha if Tite chose to go that way. But I don't expect him to change his team up that much. Most changes, 1 or 2. In my opinion. Let's get into some key insights for both teams. I'm going to go with the number 2 insight here for Croatia. Croatia have lost 4 of their 5 World Cup games against South American sides, with the exception being a 3-0 win over Argentina in 2018. 2 of those 4 defeats have been against Brazil, 1-0 in 2006 and 3-1 in 2014, both group stages. For Brazil, we're going to take a look at the number 3 insight here. Since beating Germany 2-0 in the final in 2002, Brazil have lost each of their last 5 knockout stage games against European nations, including 3 quarterfinal ties in that run: France in 2006, Netherlands in 2010, and Belgium in 2018. Guys, for the prediction segment of this video, I have a very special guest with me, Adam from Croatia. Let's do this. So now it's time to predict Brazil versus Croatia, and I have a special guest with me, someone from Croatia, big Croatian fan, big Chelsea fan. Adam the Great is what he calls himself, and he does have a great beard like myself, so big up to Adam, part of the beard gang. But we're not going to talk about beards and facial hair today. What we're here to talk about is Croatia's pivotal quarterfinal match against Brazil, of all teams. The team that has won the World Cup the most times. They have been at every single World Cup, and Croatia are pretty much new to this. 1998, the first World Cup, they did well, and 2018 they got to the final, very, very close to winning it. Could have been the smallest nation to actually win the tournament. And in my opinion, I didn't expect Croatia to get this far, and it proven a lot of people wrong, and you got to give Zlatko Dalic a whole lot of credit. So Adam, how you feel about the team's performance so far, group phase, and now getting past Japan in the round of 16?
I feel that we are pretty lucky to get to the quarterfinals. Pretty lucky. Luck was on our side against Belgium throughout the whole game. Our best game was against Canada, and that's only because Canada have an average team, in my opinion. I feel we're lacking a goal scoring threat. Our best player is Perisic, and that's it. And we can't rely on him to score the goals, because he's not Messi, Mbappe, that kind of player. He's not. So our attackers need to step up big time, especially against Brazil.
Well said, well said, well said. So Croatia, they've been very good defensively throughout the World Cup. They only conceded 1 goal against Canada. That was an early goal. And then, of course, they conceded against Japan. But they've been very, very good defensively. And a lot of credit has to go to Lovren. Got to give him a lot of credit. But Joško Gvardiol, he's been really, really good, man. And he's so good that I think he's gonna become one of those big players in the future. He's already really good in term and highly rated, but in terms of that big defender and that star player, like you guys have Modric, in terms of a star player, but I think Vardiel could be that big player because Lovren played for Liverpool, Vida's, he's been around, Charles Lucas been around, but a big defender, he's a star. You know what I'm saying? And at his age, he's really, really stepped up and he's been mature and he's been a rock at the back for Croatia. So they're gonna need him. Also, the fullback positions, they've been sorted out. Sosa, Barisic, and Juranovic, they've looked really, really good and assured for Croatia. So their defense is good. And another player I gotta give a lot of credit to, Dominic Livakovic, hero of that penalty shootout. He has not made any mistakes at the World Cup, and that's really, really key. How you feel about that? How you feel about that side of the game? Because I heard you talk. You criticized the attack for not being so potent and incisive. You're lacking a Mario Mandzukic kind of player, a Davor Šuker type of player,
and Olic.
So who Olic? Yeah. Ivica Olic.
Yeah, Ivica Olic. Yeah.
Yeah. So defense, how you feel about the defense here? Do you think you have enough to keep out Brazil?
Yes and no. Yes, because our defense proved to be good in the Nations League and now in the World Cup, but we are prone to mistakes, especially at fullback positions. Our center backs, they're sorted. I don't think they're gonna make huge mistakes, but fullbacks, Juranovic and Sosa especially, have a mistake in them, and if that happens and Brazil score, the game is over for me. So
yeah, it's gonna be tough. It is gonna be tough keeping this Brazilian forwards very, very quiet. Rafinha, Richarlison, Vinicius Jr. is gonna be a problem. But what Croatia got going for them is that engine in the midfield of Brozovic, Luka Modric, and Mateo Kovacic. And if they need, they could have Mario Pasalic to come off the bench. And you have cover. The team has a lot of depth. Lovro Maia, you have the likes of Nikola Vlasic, Mislav Orsic to add impetus to that attack. Marco Livaya if needed, Ante Budimir, and so on and so forth. But the midfield, I think, is where Croatia is at their strongest. And you got to win that midfield battle coming up against Lucas Paqueta, Casemiro, and Neymar Jr. These guys are going to need to nullify the threat of Neymar, especially. If Croatia can do that, break on the transition and get that goal, it could be something, Brazil could be caught sleeping. But Croatia, they have to be clinical. That's the thing. You got to be clinical. You mentioned Perisic. He's always going to be a threat. But you need Kramaric to step up. You need, whether it's Livaya or Vlasic or whoever else they play up there.
Yeah.
These guys are going to need, whether it's Bruno Petkovic, they're going to need to step up big time. And we saw in games where the underdog team does not take their chances, they are more than likely punished. So Croatia can't allow the game to slip away from them. They have to, I think the key for Croatia winning this game is to stay in the game. Stay in the game at all times, and there's a chance. Because if it goes to extra time, then it's going to start swinging Croatia's way, because they've played a lot of extra time and penalty shootout football where Brazil usually gets it done in 90 minutes. So with that being said, how do you feel the game is going to end here? Do you feel like you got it in you to get to the semifinals over Brazil with a potential meeting against Argentina or the Netherlands?
We have a chance, but that chance is very slim, and we will need to be on our S game to beat this mighty Brazil side. That especially is gonna. I think Brazil is gonna play really well, especially because of the Pele situation, and
True.
They will want to do something for him. They will want to win the World Cup for him. So I think Brazil is gonna dominate the game, especially the first half. I think that's gonna be the key. The second half, it may swing the Croatia's way, but I don't think Croatia has a chance, in my opinion. We have, but realistically, no, we don't.
Do you know, and you should know as a Croatian, that you guys love to do things the hard way. And if something is going to get done the hard way, doing it against Brazil would be the definition of doing things the hard way. Believe me.
Oh, yeah.
That would be indeed the definition of that. Another thing too, Brazil, Alisson Becker, he's been massive for them in goal, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's been pulling off some huge saves against Korea Republic. I think if Korea played against another team on the day, they win that match. But because Alisson was so good in goal, it made it way more difficult. He's like a cheat code. You have Neymar cheat code. You have Vinicius. You have Richarlison. You have Alisson, and you know, you have Thiago. You have so many cheat codes around the team that they're so difficult to beat. So it's going to take something special to beat this Brazil team. But I know Croatia do have it in them to pull it off. Croatia, they've never beaten Brazil in 3 tries. And if we just split the screen really quick, you could see right here, 4, actually 4. But they've met twice at the World Cup, 2006, a 1-0 win for Brazil, and 2014, a 3-1 win for Brazil. And I'm pretty sure Luka Modric, he has vivid memories of those. Last international meeting, a 2-0 win for Brazil in 2018. Only thing Croatia could say they had against Brazil is a draw in 2005, an international friendly. So it's advantage Brazil here. And bro, as much as I really admire the Croatian team, I think Brazil's going to move on to the semis here. But I have to say, if Croatia manage, usually when I predict against Croatia, they go on to win the game. So for the Croatian fans, they will be hoping that I'm wrong again, like the round of 16 game against Japan, where I predicted Japan to win after extra time. Croatia did it. Here against Brazil, it's going to take something totally special. Maybe grinding out a 0-0 draw, taking it all the way to 120 and winning on penalties. But across 90 minutes, I don't see Croatia doing it. But for me, prediction, it's hard because Croatia could be such a tenacious, a dogged, very gritty team that I can't predict a blowout. So I think it'll be 2-0 to Brazil over 90 minutes. That I think is a fair result. But I have to say, I won't be surprised if Croatia comes out on top. I won't. I really, really, really won't, man. I really won't.
I agree with you for the prediction that Brazil is gonna win, but the scoreline I think is gonna be a little tighter than that. I did say that we don't. I said that we don't stand a chance, but I only made that for the first half. I think for the first half, Brazil is gonna score 2 goals, and that's gonna be basically the end of it. And the second half, we're gonna take the initiative and score 1 goal, but that's gonna be it. I don't think we can score more than 1 goal against Brazil, and it's gonna end 2-1.
Look, before we leave, I have to say this. This is for the Croatian people. Idemo Hrvatska.
Idemo.
How was my what's the language? Hrvatski?
Hrvatski.
How was it? Was it good?
Oh, it was good. It was good.
Book.
You're getting better and better people with every day.
All right, good. Listen, bro, that's on my bucket list. I definitely have to visit Croatia one day. I know you guys have some really nice beaches over there, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure if I pop up in Croatia, someone will say, "Hey, aren't you that guy?" Yeah, it's me. But I'll probably drink for free in Croatia if I come over there.
Yeah, most likely.
Definitely. But look, Adam, bro, all the best to the team. I appreciate you joining me to do this preview analysis of both Brazil and Croatia. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. You know what I mean? And we definitely will do this again sometime in the future. So appreciate everybody who tuned in to watch the video. Like the video if you haven't yet done so. Subscribe if you're new. Good luck to Croatia. Good luck to Brazil. May the best team win. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Idemo Hrvatska. Let's go.
Idemo.
Yeah.